Welcome to Podcast from the Pit. This is Matt. I'm back with Casey. How you doing?
I'm good. You?
I'm good. How about you, Hillbilly?
Living the dream.
Oh yeah, we have a special guest today. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm James Kavanaugh. I'm happy to be in the pit as far as how my day's going. So that's a good start. And I've written a few G.I. Joe action figure collection guides, and I started the next iteration of the G.I. Joe. Oh, there we go. There's the good stuff.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe fan club. And I'm a podcast shill, so I love being here.
Well, we're happy to have you.
Thank you. Yeah, we've talked about it a lot. Now I'm finally here. So
yeah, over a year we've talked about it.
Welcome to the pit.
You know, to this day, I still have people ask us why we picked Podcast from the Pit for our name. I'm like, you know, G.I. Joe headquarters, the pit. And they're like, oh, okay. I thought it was.
We just need to figure out what level from the pit we're on.
There you
Bottom. Bottom, working our way up.
Well, at least isn't that where the exit is?
Yeah.
They had to go all the way down, go out the water tower. So there you go. You got your bases covered. No, I always liked the name when I first heard it. Yeah. Absolutely. I knew it was the headquarters.
Yeah. I think we met you at the Great Ohio Toy Show maybe 4 years ago. And you've always been really nice to us. And so, you know, we always support the fan club, support your books. Just hands down one of the nicest people we've met in the community. And we've met a lot of nice people.
I was going to say, between me and the other guy you met, I mean, it must have been, if you're saying I'm the nicest. No,
you're up there. You're up there.
No, and that's flattering. It's always humble. Well, if there's anything I say, it is true. I joke, but it's true. Is if I'm nice, it's because you're nice people. You know, so it's not like, I mean, I think I try to be nice to everybody, but if you're really feeling it, it's because back at you. You know, you guys have always been fantastic and humble and sincere, and it's commendable.
Yeah.
So we'll start out. So you started this fan club, this new I don't know, the rebirth of it, I guess. So what brought you to that point where you decided you wanted to do this again, get it going again?
My first real G.I. Joe experience was 2004 when I went down to the Orlando convention. And I always tell everybody how I believed it. You know, I was toy addict. You know, I wanted to have those new exclusives, and they were all, you know, at the time, the Crimson Strike team and the follow-up set, the 2003 set. I mean, you buy them for $200, and they were going for $1,000. So that level of markup was absolutely insane. So collectors' O-ring figures were at that peak height. And I'm like, well, heck, you know, I'm in this. I've got X amount of Joes and kind of chatting to a few people on the forums, but I wasn't not nearly as social or in the mix as I was today, and just did it. And if it wasn't, and I've since come to, you know, absorb and look at the dynamics of various shows, not just as a general show or a general show in a particular region versus another, but or even different types of fan clubs. Let's say throw out the big one: Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers, Masters Universe. There really is a niche, you know, like there's something for everybody, and everybody gravitates towards that property for a reason. But G.I. Joe, the G.I. Joe convention was overall so welcoming. It's just a nice place, you know, similar. It's probably where, if any sort of energy I brought towards you guys, it derived from that you know, that initial convention for me, you know, just being on the receiving end, like, everybody was great. You know, none of this elite stuck up, whatever, or none that I was, you know, privy to or brought onto me. None of the stereotypes that you'd see at conventions, you know, in the 80s and 90s, they would joke about the Star Trek. Let's say there's always, I love Star Trek, you know, so I'm laughing with, but there, you know, there's always been that stigma to that in a robust sense, and it wasn't there. And that was enough to make me go back the following year, and that was it. I never once thought twice or hesitated to go to a JoeCon until it ended in 2018. And I think people really did see a loss. There's always, I've, at least in my mind, as a noted author or resource guy, you learn to categorize things, and you can see the community evolve and change in waves. You really can. And this last wave was, you know, on its peak right when the Collectors Club ended. And it was a shame, you know, it was a shame that, you know, things in their time, you know, I mean, just because the wave is high on this end doesn't mean your timeline works on all ends. And it was their time to end. And I noticed there was a hole and a gap. And as sure COVID hit, but I'm sure, as you guys have known, and we talked throughout, because that's right around the time where we met, you know, when we went to Joe Fest and the Xenia show and wherever we met, you know, Kentuckiana, and wherever we meet, there became a sense of loss and, you know, remembrance of the old fan club. And that was enough. There became enough talk and energy there for me to at least try it, at least start with the fan club and see what happens. So here we are.
Right. I mean, this community has been so good to us. Yeah. I mean, we've made friends that we only see 2-3 times a year, that we look forward to seeing 2-3 times a year. You know what I mean? It's like,
absolutely.
I can't wait to go see Jason and Joel from Warrior Battle. You know, we see them probably 3 times a year. And same thing with Greg and Jaron from Anything Joe's. It's just, we've made so many. Like, I think these are going to be long-term friendships. So
I agree. And it's always, again, as the guy that's been there for 15, 20 years, it's great to see these nice groups. You know, because not everybody, you know, I think I'm friends with everybody, or enough of them, not constantly in those groups, but it's, from my perspective, it's, especially when you're behind the booth, it's just amazing to see like minds and come together, you know. And like when we had dinner at Kentuckiana, you know, that was the group, you know, the podcast group, and to hear your dynamics on the screen and off the screen and behind the scenes, it's amazing.
It's, like I said, it's just been so fun.
Like getting to meet Matt and Casey, for me, they're the first ones in the podcast groups that I've met personally, and they were so nice. I mean, I never met them, but I'd always followed them and tried to support them as much as I could. And now I'm getting to meet you, Mr. Kavanaugh, and just starstruck. Don't know what to say.
It's probably the glare in my from my head.
Well,
I covered. Oh, hey, there you go. I thought I recognized you from the same barber we go to.
Yeah, my barber doesn't charge me anything.
Yeah, exactly. Half off.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, and I would write articles for the Fun Pubs Collectors Club about the conventions. And I never did what I'm about to say to diminish the product, but because the product spoke for itself. It didn't need to be talked about. But I always emphasized the 3, I think there was 4 F's, and wasn't none were what you thought, but it was oh, that's right. It was fun, friends, family, and figures. That was my 4 F's. And figures was always the 4th one.
Right.
Because you didn't go to obviously the first thing you did on Wednesday and Thursday was buy your figures. But in a sense, it was an ancillary activity. The standing in the line and griping about the line and, you know, getting to know new people that you're stuck to in the line, that was the magic. you know, you forced yourself to sit there, you know. But then, you know, you did get to know, develop friendships. People's families do kind of become your families. You know, I met the kids. I watched 10, 20, 30 kids go from literal babies to now they're in college, you know.
Right.
It's always great to see and hang out and catch up. And sure, we talk about toys and Joes, but you talk about so much more. And I always made the point after the show, or once the magic wore off and you're tired, you get back to your real world and your family and your life and you're this, that, and the other. That's when you stop and you look at your figures and you absorb them on the shelf and say, wow, that's a pretty nice set. You know, I'm glad and those figures, to me at least, every time I can look at a year's figures and get that convention magic just by looking at that figure. Never mind the quality or the, you know, the coolness or the wow factor, or even if it's, you know, it's one that I don't think fires on all cylinders. Anything, the good, the bad, the ugly, it still brings that nostalgia you can't beat. And that's what so blah, blah, that's what really drives me with the fan club, or at least got me to the point where I'm at now.
Well, that's good.
So
I'm glad you're doing it.
Well, thanks. I'm glad you guys are supporting me.
Oh, yeah.
So where's the fan club at this moment? Because I know we've kind of talked behind the scenes a little bit, especially Joe Fest. What was coming for year 2? I was wondering if you made any progress on that, or is it still kind of
it's slow but
a little
steady.
more work than you expected?
Yeah, it's been a little bit more than expected. There's been more changes than I thought there would be behind the scenes. You know, I'll be honest with you. I don't want to get too into the, you know, the not nitpicking or whatever and all that, because you guys know. I mean, when you put a show out, it's flawless, or it is what it is. But nobody's going to see whatever you fought, or, you know, connection issues, or this, that, and the other, scheduling, and blah blah blah, and removing your lives and your personal lives to get to that point, you know. And that's just the way the world works. But yeah, I think we've overcome a lot of the hurdles that we're, you know, had to deal with. On to year 2. Still, obviously, there's a couple newsletters that need to go out for year 1, and those are 2's about finished, and that'll go out, and then on to 3 and 4. Just going to bang them out as quickly as possible just to get everything situated on that, and then activate year 2. I think I said from the beginning that I didn't know how this thing was going to go. I mean, we all knew what's up. There's
right,
kind of floating in space, you know, finding gravity in space of sorts. And now that the rhythm is slowly but surely getting churned, we'll see. That's for better or worse. Here we are.
Yeah, we missed out, as we've only been back into this for 4 years or so, you know, during COVID and all that. That's how we started. And so we missed out on the other fan clubs. As soon as we heard you say you were doing this, we were in. We're like, all right, yeah, let's do this.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So we'll always support it. Always share it. It's a lot of fun. Newsletter's cool. Yeah.
I see you guys are always hitting the hashtag and whatnot on Instagram and everything. It's always fun to see what you're up to. You know, getting that tag, because that's the only thing that's, for better or worse, being the fan club guy, like trying to cover everywhere at all time. You know, like seeing it all. It's get a little overwhelming. But yes, if people are tagging me, that's bringing my eyes to what you've got going on.
Yeah.
You know, hence the functionality of a tag.
Yeah. We try to share everything that we like, and hopefully people share stuff that we put out there. We just keep everything going.
Guys, I apologize real fast. My with all the speaking of behind the scenes, my battery's being funky. Let me go run and grab a phone.
Okay,
no problem. So yeah, it's been nice seeing him do this.
yeah.
I mean, he did such a good job with the rank and file magazines.
I've got to get. I've only got the one right now, so I'm hoping to, maybe pick one up every show. Very detailed though. I like them a lot.
I need to get some of them. I've never picked them up. So
yeah, the one I picked up at Joe Fest is I picked it first. I don't think it was his first one he did, but it had the Renegades in it, so I was excited to get this one because the Renegade cartoon is awesome.
I love the Renegade cartoon. It was a great cartoon. I hated that they did away with it.
Right. But I mean,
yeah, that
Resolute was awesome. So short.
Yeah,
yeah.
That one had, that magazine right there had most of the figures I had interest in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going through it, I picked up as well.
Yeah, going through it though, there's a lot of figures I'd never seen before that I'm like, I think I'd like to get that figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Kavanaugh back.
Yep. So there's a lot more stuff on my radar now. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Oh, you're all right. We were just talking about your rank and file.
I thought you were saying how rank I am. I got cologne in the car. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, the books. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on. I apologize.
So what was between the fan club and the rank and file? Which one has been harder to get going?
Honestly, the fan club, and that's. So I told everybody with the first book. Once I kind of got in motion, and my wheels turning, I was the guy to do the book. And I'm not going to say my books are magnificent or the end all be all. There's always, look how many 82 to 94 books are there.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be hard to beat Balamos, but I think if he was here, he would agree. There's always room for somebody to add their interpretation on a book. But I will say that once, and you guys know this in your world, as podcasters, in some sense, there's the guy that, has the will to do it. And there's the guy that has the talent to do it. And there's the guy that has the tools to do it. And I went to school for graphic design. I had all the figures needed to photograph it. A good buddy of mine I worked a deal out with was a pro photographer in the area, probably the best. And I had a desire to do it, and an ability to kind of organize and do everything. At 15 years in the print shop and blah, blah, blah. It's just, once you whittle all those factors down, there's probably only 5 guys like me to do it.
Yeah.
In the community, and then I'm the one guy that's willing to put thousands of hours into doing it, The other 4 guys are saying, screw that. I'm going to go, live my life, go whatever, parasailing or something. I don't know. Go hunting, I don't know. Any of it. So that's really it. I mean, that's just the honest truth. Whereas the fan club, it's not completely out of my wheelhouse, but it's a lot more involved. It really is. And, I had to reach out to others, whereas the books were kind of a, one pony show. I can try and manage myself. It's not always easy. Guy working for me is kind of a jerk, but in the book world, but in the fan club world, that's me, that maybe didn't get that. But in the fan club, then, yeah, now you're starting to just reach beyond and out, and it can, for better or worse, it can be like herding cats, and I think anybody who was in that shoe would be saying it, but it's coming along again. So we'll see when the dust settles.
Yeah.
But as it stands, just trying to get all that together, especially And then the sad truth of the matter with anything, as we all know, it's budget. You know, if I had a $100,000 team, let's say, even something meager, in all honesty, like that, then sure, you know, we would be, you know, Fan Club Incorporated or whatever, rocking. But it's grassroots. It's good folks behind the scenes just trying to get it going, and that's all you can do.
Yeah, no,
you know,
doing it well. Yeah, I still got my packet still all together.
Oh, do you the membership kit? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
here's some of mine together.
Nice.
I need to get one. So.
You got the info.
Yes. I will get one.
You gotta get the blessing.
Yes. Got to get that blessing. Otherwise, this might be my last podcast.
Uh-oh. Well,
it was a good one.
Yeah, I was gonna say thanks. We'll put you in the memorial section of the next newsletter.
What is one thing I've learned after 26 years of marriage is it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission.
That's true in everything.
Yeah.
I've heard that before by married gentlemen here and there.
Yeah, like if I
Just
order
sure
something off Amazon.
So have you considered try to help on the funding side, maybe doing like T-shirts and stuff, selling those? If not, I know you can't. I know it's a big expenditure if you're doing a large, but you know, doing small batches at a time, or is it too cost ineffective?
We've looked into those options, and as it stands, if there's one thing I've learned from not only previous clubs but previous instances and as a whole, I couldn't even with the fan club, even with the initial registration, if only 100 people registered, I would have sat there. Then I was mentally prepared the following day to refund 100 people. Click bank, refund, and repeat, because I did through PayPal or whatever. The T-shirts and anything, what we're trying to work out is I would want to do any sort of pre-order system, and that's because the margins at this point are so thin, so limited, that I can't order 20 of every size, and then I'm stuck with all these shirts that nobody wants. But if there's a way to, if anybody has any suggestions, they're at any time is more than welcome to reach out. But we would use some sort of tool to take orders. You would pay in advance, similar to registration as a whole. Pay in advance, and then you would then get your T-shirt at the size of your choosing, and then of course, similar. And I did this with the books, and I'll do it with anything. My philosophy behind Kickstarter is you really want it that bad, you're willing to pay, or crowdfunding, you're willing to pay the amount to get it done, but also recognize that some of that's going to create inventory to sell beyond that initial burst. And you get the joy out of being part of a founding instigator, for lack of a better word, not bird. Bird is the word on that given item, if that makes sense. So that's about where it's kind of chicken. So any sort of sales thing is kind of chicken and egg at that point. I just don't want to produce something that I'm sitting on forever a day. A fun fact, and I never thought this with the first book, and it's funny to hear now because I get emails weekly wanting it. It took me 10 years to sell the first book. And sometimes I was selling it at 25% off, $30 just to move sales. And I thought it would go in 6 months. I thought I'd sell the entire, and which wasn't that big of an inventory. But I just, it was the next iteration between 82 and 94. It seemed to look pretty good, I thought, the accessory section in the back. No. So I'm also, in my own little world, I'm used to inventory sitting and kind of know how to minimize and navigate that world, for better or worse. But yeah, I mean, so that's what I always say. If T-shirts are of interest or anything, patches, or we have patches in the set, but any hats or anything, if people really want it, say something, be vocal about it.
Yeah.
I mean, we
T-shirts,
yeah,
and mugs.
All that. I mean, the moment we don't like the boots on Figure X's, feet, we're, writing paragraphs on Facebook or Instagram or whatever else. You can chime in and say, hey, I really want this, or, use that energy for positive motivation. And I'm listening.
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever merchandise ends up coming about, if you do go that route, I'm sure there's several. I don't know how many people will end up signing up for the fan club. Did you end up getting total so far?
At this very moment, it's a little under 450.
Okay.
Of the 500 projected. If I got to over 300, that was like, give or take, obviously. Over the 300, that was enough to kind of get it going. And then I knew that once sets arrived in hand, then there would be a burst of FOMO, or fear that they missed out, whatever acronym that is. I mean, they missed out. Now I want it. How do I get it? And that would create its own burst. So that's when I was able to kind of pad the front end to make the back end. The pre-registration, registering arrival sets work for the post. After the initial arrival.
Yep.
This, the world we're in now, happened. And then
you throw that limited time on there, everybody wants to grab it.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, the biggest thing, for better or worse, I have to work for a year or two is, well, I didn't hear about this. Well, I would have signed up had I known. And I'm like, well, I would have sold it to you had I known. I would have made 3,000 sets if 2,800, signed up or whatever, Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about the limit, to create exclusivity by any means. I do think a 500 will be rare or have some value in a sense. We'll see.
Well, hopefully it'll continue to grow. So
yes.
Yeah, I think so too. I hope so too. I'm glad you guys are supporting it. One day at a time with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as in a lot of things, I think you were the right person to do this, because everything you said you were going to do, you do.
So far, yeah. Sure. The dust hasn't settled yet,
But I mean, like, even with the backer kit that you sent out, it was everything you said it was going to be. So,
well, thank you. I'm glad you.
That's not true of everything, but you came through.
It got there eventually.
Yeah. I think it surprised me one day, and it was nice. It was a nice little surprise.
Good. Did you like the box?
I did.
That was on the DL.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Good. That was Brian Sauer really punched that up.
Oh, that's cool.
I had the foundation of the assortment package, the brown box with the black print.
Yeah.
Like you see on Walmart skids every night. But then he really took it and made it for what you see it is there,
Yeah, very well done.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
I was just, G.I. Joe guy. Is there any other things you collect?
My fun factoid in that world is I've always Motu.
Yeah.
I've always kind of looked from afar, appreciated it. I've list. I was actually about 60% into making a book on that. There's some on the DL knowledge. Yeah, I have all the data and like kind of the infrastructure. I was going to partner with another book author, and because he had the bulk of the collection, we were going to photograph it and get it going. But Pixel Dan's book's phenomenal. I own that. I own just about every one of those Dark Horse books. Those are fun. I'm a Earth Wars sucker, the video game Transformers. So I like that, but there's just so many toys out. You know what I mean? Like, I like them all, and I like to read the magazines and look at the news reviews. But my wallet taught me a long time ago. Pick like the running gag we've had,
Yeah.
the wife or the other half or whoever. Yeah. My wallet in that case said you get one hobby and that's it.
Yeah. Right. So I just made mine toys. I didn't specify anymore. Oh, it was just Joe. Now it's just toys.
Oh, there you go. I like it.
So it's all encompassing.
Yeah. I mean, if you can manage it, that's all that is. It isn't obvious. I have an addictive, obsessive personality. So if I got into another line, I'd probably do it as the way I'm doing G.I. Joe, and that's not.
Right. Yeah, I'm the same way.
Good.
It's horrible.
Sure. Like mine. It's what it is.
Yeah. It makes me happy. So, and I could have worse hobbies. That's what my wife says.
That's the honest truth. And that's one other thing I've always heard throughout the years from the wives when they joke, tease us or, laugh with, or we're hanging out, all of us in groups. I know where he's at. I know what he's doing. He's sitting in the basement or in the man cave or whatever, chilling, enjoying his toys.
Right.
Could be worse.
Yep.
It's like I got a toy today. We had to go to the grocery store. So I picked up a new toy today. And my wife's like, I don't know why they make that $50. They know kids and grown men want those toys. I'm like, yeah. Well, but, I wanted it, so I got it.
My wife, I told her what I'm trying to do now, since figures are so expensive, is I'm trying to hold off on get maybe 1 or 2 items once a month. And I don't make big bucks, so I try to not go beyond my thing. And whenever the Dragonfly came out, I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to get this. And I was like, I asked her and she's like, I don't know. I was like, come on. And she said, okay, you can get it. Go ahead and order it. I said, no, I'm not going to now. She said, why? I said, I'm just trying to test the waters. So, I said, I don't know where to put it. I said, other than hanging above her bed in the bedroom. She's like, it's not going in the bedroom.
It's one way to spice up the
Yeah. I don't think she'd be very happy if whenever I come home of a night and be like, hi, Shan. Hey, Dragonfly, how are you?
Yeah, it was tempting, but space was an issue.
Yeah,
well, I tell myself that, but I probably could have found a place for it.
I'd saved up one time and got the Sideshow Collectibles Snake Eyes and Timber, and I caught myself every night running past her to him and be like, "You all okay today? Was anything bad happen?" I'm joking, but
yeah,
I was like, "Oh my gosh!" But she's the best wife I got. I gotta keep her like that.
I like it.
We went to Florida this past week for our anniversary, and I came home with some toys. So we'll get to that later. I was a good boy.
Was there so is there anything else you want to touch up on the fan club, or do we want to jump into just talk about other stuff?
I think that's it. Keep on plugging away for the fan club. Push forward. I think, or to recap those listening, at Joe Fest, we revealed that year 2 theme will be Cobra. Mm-hmm. So we've had the Joes. If you followed the story, they're getting their groove back in their world. The pit was blown up, and I know not this place. Luckily, that's why we're down to the bottom of the bottom. And they're trying to find their way, same way we as collectors and fans are trying to find ours. And now that they're getting back together, Cobra's not going to like that. You know, Cobra's enjoyed no scrutiny or anybody getting in their way with whatever plans they have. And in year 2, we'll find out what Cobra's been doing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
I've always leaned Cobra.
Sure. Zartan's always been my number one guy.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody out there that's still looking to maybe join up, you said you still had some available. Best way for them to do that?
Yes, www.gijofanclub.com. And sign up there. There's different tiered sets pricing depending on where you live, U.S. or international, or I think there's a Mexico and a Canada option because we get better rates. I try to do as best I can without creating one rate for every country in the world, but on Northern America has some options that I tried to accommodate with them. And if you want to have personalization, fans reacted. They were disappointed. They missed by their own, world hang-ups that they missed registration, but they really wanted personalization. You can add that for additional $14. There's an option to do that. If you do sign up, thank you for starters, but then be on the lookout for a follow-up email with filling out your form. So I have all your final address information, your final code name, your final everything. I can think of one guy in particular that if I would have mailed to his PayPal address, it would have gone across the world. His PayPal address. People don't update their PayPal or whatever payment option you're using. And he lived in the UK at one time. Well, I don't know that, Right. So that's another hang up as we talk about pros and cons and just getting that formulaic data conveyed and clear to me, so I know where you live and I know everything you need, and life's grand.
Yep. But just my final thought on it is it's so worth it. It's a lot of fun, and thank you again for doing it.
Thank you. It's all I need to hear. You know what I mean? When people are telling me, they appreciate it, that's worth more than anything they're paying.
Yeah.
So I guess everybody's been talking about the Super 7 mothership. I'll just give my thoughts on it. It looks nice. The O-ring figures don't look too bad. I see there's 2 versions. I'm probably going to pass. It's a little bit much, and I guess it's about where I would have expected it to be, but it's still a little much.
I'm gonna pass too, just price wise, and I can see why they have to why they have to charge that much. And I think it looks great, and I think it's going to do just fine. But for me, I'm going to have to pass on
it. Unless I strike the lottery, I'll have to pass. I'd love to have it. I think it looks amazing. The offers that they have on it. I'm not interested in the reaction figures, but the retro figure or the O-rings, I would go full out O-ring on that. But I just can't. I mean, and it would have been so cool if it had been to, like in the opening of the show, it showed the shark flying through one of the channels of it, and they should have jumped on that. They should have. It'd be cool to have like a little diorama with it or something to be able to do that with, or even like somebody mentioned finger rings or cars where you could like fly over. That would be cool. But just I can't. Ain't no way. My little house couldn't handle it. So, my little black heart couldn't handle it either.
You'll hit that record point, Buck. That'll be like winning the lottery. Get the money.
Yeah.
As far as I'm hoping I can make it happen. Let's start there. And we kind of chatted this up a little bit before the show started for those listening at home, and it kind of hit me as I'm listening and absorbing. And we also joked about the influx of classifieds and Joe in general just swarming us. Like we had a famine and now we're feasting, we're gorging.
Yeah.
I wonder if they just and I get it. The show must go on, and their timeline is their timeline. But I wonder if it's that if they hit us at just a bad point, and they're probably trying to get the Christmas money, which there's no denying that.
Right. Yeah.
But I can't help. That's where I'm at. I just literally every other day I was receiving a classified figure because they ship you order the whole wave and 5 figures in one order, and then they ship them 5 different days. That's
right.
Another topic. But the point is, yeah, the point is, just had a large chunk of money, probably the $600, spent on just my basic collection. Nothing fan. I don't buy a million of everything anymore. I buy 2, one for loose and one for packaging for the fan club, so I can take photos and and on and on and on. But that adds up. That's $600-700 right there, and that's unfortunately, again, my girlfriend, the bank account, taken away from my, limiting my ability to purchase something like this.
I need to use that term on my wife. I need one for the podcast and one for
There you go. Take it, run with it.
Yes, it's mine. I've stolen.
As long as I don't read about you in the news, they've got something to say about that too.
If the next time you see me, I have 2 black eyes
Exactly.
and a broken nose.
Uh-oh. Just do some Chuckles cosplay from that.
Yeah,
there you go. Which that's supposed to come out soon, right?
Do what? I'm sorry. Oh, that should be soon.
That Chuckles, yeah. I got charged for the Crimson Strike team, but I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, yeah, same here.
I didn't get Chuckles, but I did the Melloway Condor for Action Force, and it is so nice. It is just so smooth, but that's neither here nor there.
Sure. Did you do the points, or did you pay straight out?
Points.
Okay.
Actually had just enough points, and I sent off. So I'm curious to see what their next Melloway is going to be.
Yeah.
So at PowerCon, I was trying to talk them into partnering with one of the Vanguards, but that didn't happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll give up his prototypes anytime soon.
No, and and on that, Vanguard looks amazing. Can I afford it? Nope.
Oh, sure.
So.
Now, what was the cost on that?
$185, I think.
And it holds how many figures?
I think
6.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10 or 11 figures.
I'm not a Valverse guy, but that's a good deal to hold 10, 12, 112 scale figures. That's a good deal. He could have charged more for it.
It fits 3 in the back seat, 2 in the front. The front seats slide back and forth now. They're doing that.
Okay.
Guy in the hatch and a guy in the top. And then people on the side rails.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
for the size, they really could have charged more, and they would have got it. So,
but getting back to Super 7, I think if they would have done something like the Silent Castle,
it would have been cool.
Yeah.
Or even Destro. Silent Castle, was that Destro's castle? I'm trying to remember. Yeah,
I think so.
that would have been cool.
I would have like just sold off all my comic books just to got that. I'd have figured something out. I lived in the doghouse with that one.
The mothership looks great.
It does.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it at PowerCon.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't go with the helicopter. You know, like the troop carrier that we always see in comic books, and I'm waiting for somebody to come out with one of those because they're gonna sell a bunch of those because everybody's asking for them.
I have to believe Hasbro, I don't know, I'm not even saying it negatively, just matter of fact, might have put a nay or a hold on that because they would probably want to do it.
Right.
Well,
so you're right. That's the helicopters. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
No, we'll state the obvious. Water's wet. 2 + 2 is 4. You know, that helicopter we've been dying for, and we've always felt it's obtainable since, adult collecting. Well, since childhood, of course,
right.
But even more so adult collecting. That's been on the list as long as far back as I can remember. Yeah. And I mean, it's more obtainable. It's more, easy to produce. It's easy from start to finish.
Yeah.
But Hasbro may not have wanted them done that because of the Dragonfly coming out.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
It's something I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. But I think it would be so. It would have been so cool if they would have done the Silent Castle.
Oh yeah,
I mean, all the levels. I mean, look how beautiful Cat's Lair is.
Mm-hmm.
The glass display case probably still has my drool on it where I was trying to hug it. But my wife's like, I can't believe you're doing this. I'm like, leave me alone, woman. But
yeah, it looks great. And I'm not even a Thundercats guy, but it looks great.
I'm not a Thundercats guy, but if they could have done a Silent Castle in that scale, my gosh, it would have been glorious.
And it transformed even.
Yeah. Well, even open it up and have like the towers, and you could redo the Silent Interlude issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
I'll bet you $1 a donut if this goes through, that's got to be their next one on the list.
Yeah.
That or the helicopter.
You're right. I mean, 40 years people have been wanting a helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
I think it debuted in the very first Marvel issue.
I don't know if it was the first one. I thought it was the first or second yearbook.
I thought it was the first issue from the train. They were going to get the Baroness off the train. I could be wrong. I've read so many different comics.
I forgot. I used to read them once a year, every year in college.
Right. Yeah.
My comic knowledge, sadly.
Yeah.
Shame. That was my favorite story run.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the IDW run, honestly. Larry Hama's IDW run. A lot of people didn't care for it. I loved it.
Yeah.
They always got to the Blue Ninjas, and they're like, no. I'm like, it's G.I. Joe. You got to expect a little, little out there for a good story.
Yeah. You got the Arashikage ninjas and you got Battle Android Troopers.
Right.
At that point.
It's a mixture.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah. So we all want helicopters. Go ahead, Matt.
So to jump on a different line that's coming out. So I tried to pre-order one of the Hiya G.I. Joes.
Okay.
And it wouldn't let me because it said something. It wouldn't ship to my address or something. They didn't like my address, I guess. So I couldn't get it pre-ordered. But I hadn't really been able to look at those, and I finally got to look at them. I think they look pretty good.
They do, yeah.
They're beautiful. They're well done.
Yeah, they look fun.
Yeah, I was trying to. I like the beachhead. I even like the Major Blood. And I'm not a real big fan of that character.
Yeah, I like both.
And then the Firefly. I don't know about that one, but I was thinking about it. Yeah, a lot of they all look pretty good.
And for as detailed as they are, I thought they'd be more expensive, honestly.
Yeah, I think they're what, $24.99, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to get the Flint and the Lady J.
I don't have any of them. I've seen a couple reviews from Chad on his chat. He did Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, and they look really well. I
They
mean,
do.
Storm Shadow's got the sleeve tattoo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know they did Flint Lady J.
I didn't either.
I think they
I'm not.
did Lady J. I know they did Flint.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Yep, they're on the website. I'm not positive on this, but when I checked, the Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow were the only two that were sold out. I think on as far as pre-orders went.
Yeah.
What website did you use?
I was looking at the Hiya website, so I haven't checked any others yet.
I don't know if Big Bad would have them or.
That's
Yeah,
something
they
to look
probably
into.
do.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I usually end up canceling my Big Bad orders. I'm like, I already paid for Pulse, so I'm just going to get that free shipping. I'll wait a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if I can't get them and I really want to, I guess I'll have to watch it Amazon, see if they pop up there, because I know some of the highest stuff pops up there sometimes.
Yeah.
For sale or secondhand or at an increased price?
Both, I
Probably
think. I
both,
know. Hiya has a storefront on Amazon.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
It's kind of limited, I think, on what they put on there. So I'm hoping it's not the stuff that doesn't sell.
Yeah.
Sure.
I have a couple Hiya figures, and they are pretty slick.
Yeah.
Okay. They look fun.
Right.
Oh,
all that fell off my radar.
Yeah.
The ones I have are kind of like a spin-off of Steel Brigade with the helmet. And the helmets are removable, which is pretty cool. So I came home with them. I was like, one's a male, one's a female. And I was like, look, Shan, I got you a toy. And she's like,
Just what she always wanted.
yeah. She said, whenever we went to PowerCon, we was walking around and she said, your people are weird. But then again, it was anime people going to the anime show. And I was like, those people are a little touched.
I wanted to go. I wanted to go in.
I know when we were walking in, I was beginning to wonder if we were in the right place.
Yeah. I took a date for the first time at a PowerCon, and she kind of wanted to hang out with all that. She was all excited to see the costumes and everything. I go, that's not. I go, I don't know for a fact. I'm like, but this is not the show we're going. Something tells me there's two shows going on. Right. She's like, no, there's anime people. They're clearly for you guys, and I'm like, nope. It's all a bunch of middle-aged men. When you start seeing clumps of that, and some wives with eyes locked from rolling too much, then you'll find my people.
Right.
And she did.
She stole my backpack, and she's like, "I'm gonna go sit down." And she had whiplash from just like doing this.
Oh, sure.
People watching, and but she went. The first show she went to me was Heroes Con.
Oh, wow.
Charlotte. And Stan Lee was there that year. And she's like, why are we here like 3 hours early to get in there? It's like, she's like, where's the line foreman? I said, we're standing in the line. I don't know if y'all have ever been to Heroes Con or not. It was huge. I mean, it's in the Charlotte Convention Center. And the line ended up wrapping around the Charlotte Convention Center.
Wow.
And
what, 70,000 people? Probably?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's crazy.
It was massive.
Sure.
And I went in and I said, we stay together. Because if we get separated, we may never find each other again. But she was like, oh my gosh, this is huge. And I was like, yep, stick close.
Did she have fun?
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah. She had fun.
Good.
We ended up going to Dollywood the next day.
Perfect.
Yeah. Major cultural differences.
Well,
hello,
kind of touching on that. Me and Casey had a weird interaction when we were leaving at the elevator that I'm not sure is safe to talk about on.
Yeah, that was. I wanted to go to a different elevator. That was.
But it was the only elevator that opened.
What happens at PowerCon stays at PowerCon.
Yeah.
Bro. He was by himself, so.
We'll have to we'll
tell
fill
you
in
after.
sometime, but it was yeah. It was a little uncomfortable.
Weirdest experience I ever had at a convention was at Heroes Con. I had a writer that was, or an artist / writer that was very disrespectful. And I'll not get into it here, but yeah, it was a bad situation. So,
that's a shame.
Yeah.
Don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Well, this guy was never a hero, but I respected his work up until that point.
Yeah.
Is everybody ready for Joe Fest this year? Coming up.
I
had such a good time last year that I already got my room booked for one.
Nice.
So last year we had to stay a few blocks away, so it just felt different, you know.
I've never
the last few years we stayed in a hotel so we could do whatever we want and still make it back to the room okay.
Yeah.
I've never been to Joe Fest, and I told Casey if he wants a sidekick, I'll ride down with him or drive down with him, and I'll try not to embarrass him.
I'll embarrass you first.
I doubt that.
But my wife wants you to go, so she don't have to. So.
And my wife wants me to go, so I'm out of the house.
Win-win.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When we went three years ago, we were like, let's do this every other year. But we had such a good time. We went back to next year. We just want to make it every year thing, as long as we can, as long as it's feasible. Okay.
Well, I don't have any acquisitions. I know we usually do that at the beginning of the episode, but I felt like it was better to talk to Cav since we had him on.
Yep.
But
real quick,
does anybody?
Sorry, back to Joe Fest real fast. Did they announce the room blocks, or you just went and got a room at the hotel?
I just got rooms. Yeah.
Okay.
If I see him do the room blocks, I'll try to change it and cancel the other ones.
Oh, absolutely. That's the name of the game.
Right.
Go on. I didn't mean to disrupt the flow of the show.
Oh no.
We have no flow. We just talk.
Sure.
It's chaos.
Yeah,
Try to control it as best we can.
Now you're in my world.
Well, I know Casey kind of hinted at it earlier, but what about you, Kev? Have you had any additions to your collection recently?
Just that classified wave that hit us like a tidal wave, literally. I I've honestly, with everything that's going on, I've tried to and again, I'm an old school collector, so I did my O-ring, I did the O-ring and all that back in the early 2000s, and then I was able to kind of stick with the new there. But anything else now, I'm more focused on just getting these projects up and going, and besides my basic classified and any other pre-orders that have come in. And then I always laugh. I got a few other buddies of mine that, you can tell literally the moment they walk in the door, it's get out of their way, let them get their package, rip it open them up and start playing with them and take photos. And they send it out to our group, the local guys. And I'm like, I live vicariously through your, putting around and photographs, because I don't want to take pictures of mine until I get them up and in the light tent for the newsletter,
Yeah.
So all mine are all locked in their box prisons at the moment. I think the last number I photographed was 34.
Oh yeah.
I had 1 through 34 done. So yeah, it's been a little bit. It's been this whole year, I guess.
Let's see what numbers are they up to. I got some in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Hillbilly? Did you get any acquisitions?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I won a box of loot from Morphonauts the other day, and I've just been going through this box, and Morphonauts is starting a new Kickstarter for something they're calling combat creatures, and he used battle beasts as his inspiration. So he sent me all kinds of stuff. He sent me this guy. He's a bear, and I'm painting him for a friend of mine. And then he sent this line was in the box, and they're so articulated. I mean, they've got the articulation so nice, the ab crunches. And then there was some of these little guys. That was an eagle, and then this one just really blew me away. I really dig the wolves.
Nice.
So much detail in them. And then Samurai Boba Fett.
Fun.
And the helmet comes off.
Oh.
And all these are 3D or resin printed. And he sent me so many different scales.
Oh.
Wow.
And then the one that I fell out of my chair with.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
There's
so much detail. Articulation's so nice. So whenever he gets his Kickstarter up, it should go really good. I know a lot of people really dig the battle beasts, and I never got into them as a kid, but these are so nice. I mean, it's ridiculous. And yes, I will probably mix them into my Joes. So, and the last thing he sent me.
Nice.
Oh, very nice.
The tail is a pain, but he is so smooth. Oh, there goes his tail. But yeah, these are all resin 3D print figures, and they're so nice. So cool. Morphonauts, they're super nice people. So, but he's cleaning out his stock so he can get ready to start working on the combat creatures. So if you get a chance, go check him out.
Cool.
Well,
Mr.
Jason. Yeah. All right. Now bear with me. I had a really good week. So for our anniversary, we went to Universal Studios, and me and her got wands.
Oh, fun.
Had a good time. I also have a from Galaxy's Edge. I have a Stormtrooper helmet on the way. We had it shipped. You put it on, changes your voice, all that. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Nice.
You could have wore that, man.
I would have if it came in.
I was meaning on the plane.
Oh,
there that's a TSA checkpoint right there.
Yeah.
When I got home, I had 2 snow serpents.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I will open both of them. Figure I can't wait to get into. I got tripwire.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And I always forget the names of these guys. I still want to call them Steel Brigade. Steel Corpse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got that set. So those 4 were waiting on me when I got home. Now, in Florida, I stopped at, I want to get this right, Space Coast Vintage Toys in Melbourne, Florida. And I got a figure I didn't know I'd want, but I had most of everything else he had up there.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
My first cover law.
Nice.
But I mean, it was only $20. It's a great little store. Everything's set up really nice. He's only been there for about 2 months, so if you're in the area, please check this out. It's a great store. Go ahead, Matt.
So you're the first one to fall down that rabbit hole.
No, the rabbit hole's next. All right, that's just a Joe, an O-ring Joe. The best ride I rode the whole time we were there was the Transformers ride. We had a good time. And of course, like everything else, it leads you to a shop to buy stuff. So I got this Braun figure. He was one of my favorite Transformers as a kid, which I didn't have, but maybe 1 or 2 small Transformers because we didn't have the money for them. So I was mostly Joe because they were more reasonable. But the second time we rode it, I had to get Ratchet. There's a theme. Since we've been back, I got Junk Heap.
Nice.
And these 2 I'm really happy with. I got Sludge, the Dinobot.
That's cool.
And I just got this one today, and it was a figure I've been looking for. I was going to get this one a long time ago, but I just kept passing on it. The Starscream from the movie where he's got the crown.
Yeah.
I love this. I can't wait to open this. But that's it. It's a new rabbit hole. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to be at with it. I think I'm just going to go for the cartoon movie figures for now. We'll see. That's what I tell myself. I tell myself little lies to get through the day.
One at a time.
Just wait till they make a TARDIS Transformer.
Well, I've got plenty of Doctor Who. So my wife was asking me the other day if I could only collect one toy line, what it would be. And I'm not going to say on the G.I. Joe podcast what it would be. But yeah, it was a great trip. Got a lot of great stuff. Can't wait to dig into. I haven't opened them yet because I was waiting for after the show.
I've never been
killing
to
you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's killing me. It's killing me. But I do have a question, James.
Yeah.
If people are wanting to get the books, where do they get those at?
RACguide.com.
Okay. And I do recommend these. I'm going to try to get at least one at a convention when I see you until I get them all because they're really well done.
Nice.
I'm seeing figures in here I didn't know existed that I now want. So I will be making a Joe Fest list before we go, and they'll probably all be modern figures because honestly, I'm where I want to be with my O-rings.
Okay.
And my classifieds. So that's the next logical step. And I do love the modern figures.
Be careful. That's quite a pit in its own right.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even realize it until I opened your book. You know, I always thought there wasn't that many of them. You know, but I was wrong.
Oh yeah, I think might be 2,000.
Ugh, crazy.
1,500 or so. Oh yeah, absolutely. 1,500 maybe.
I'm at the pick and choose.
Yeah. 247, I think, with the 25th alone.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's amazing what they did.
How many volumes of the rank and file do you have?
I've done 5 so far. 5 is currently sold out. And if people want it, please vocalize that. I'll do a revision. I've always done like a 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 if the 0.2s sell out. And kind of go from there. I can say that they're 4 and 5 obviously are part 1, part 2 for the club. Because again, the club put out so many figures, I literally couldn't put it out in one volume. That if I know there's way more copies of Volume 4 out there than there are Volume 5. So if people are missing, they feel their 4s are incomplete, vocalize that, and I'll do a run of 5s. But their 5's currently sold out, and 2 and 3 is getting low. I see you have 3.
Yeah, I'm about to jump on 2. 1's out, sold out, right?
No, because 1 is the 25th, i.e. the O-ring homage. I mean, they're modern updates of your 84 Duke and your 84 Storm Shadow and on and on and on. I ran a little bit more of 1s than I would normally. Again, going back to our balancing out pre-order and inventory conversation. So 1's in good shape, but 2 and 3 are riding that lot. 3, I don't know why. I mean, I love it. I love Ariel. So don't pick your favorite child. You're not going to get the answer out. But 3 sells like hotcakes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last thing I have for today is I watched a live stream before I went on vacation. It was Plastic Profiles with Agent Chuckles and Steve the Writing Dad. I just wanted to let everybody know that's a really good show. If you don't already check it out on YouTube, you should check it out because you could just tell they have so much fun together.
Yeah.
And they're not real long episodes, so you can just get in there, enjoy it, digest it, and move on to the next one. They do they go back and do O-ring reviews of like Destro. They did Destro, and they'll read off his file card. Then they'll do a modern version of them, like they did the classified, and they compare them. And it's a pretty good little show. If you don't watch it, please do, because they're really nice guys.
Yeah,
nice.
That's who I got my classified spirit off of. He did a contest, and I entered the contest, and lo and behold, I won the spirit, and I about fell over.
Yeah. Super nice guys.
Yeah.
And that's honestly the first thing I look forward to, because no matter how good of a show is, if they're not nice to me, I won't say anything bad. I just won't support it, which I haven't ran into yet. So
yeah,
that's just how I am.
Well, that's good that they really bring a good positive presence.
Oh, they do. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Check them out.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Mr. Kavanaugh.
Uh-oh.
Something that really I like asking people because of just nostalgia. Who was your first Joe?
My first was Zap.
Oh,
cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Funny, since we're talking about other toy lines and everything, G.I. Joe wasn't my first date to the first ass to the prom. I loved Star Wars, and I loved He-Man when he first came out. And I had for a birthday, the guy gave me Zap and the Ram and Joey. I don't remember his last. I didn't stop thinking his last name, but and I didn't know what to say because here's this green, little green straight, straight arm man, me built like me more or less, minus the gut, versus He-Man, who's this giant hulking presence. I didn't know what to think, but then I think it was a little bit of price point, a little bit of just the line just took off. Everything just G.I. Joe became my bag straight up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. But
I don't know.
I started off Star Wars. Sorry.
You're right. Go ahead.
I started off with Star Wars like most people my age. But 82 was such a great year. I mean, G.I. Joe, and I believe He-Man came out in 82.
81, 82. A little ahead, yeah.
Yeah, and I still like Star Wars, but they fell way behind those two toy lines.
Yeah, I started out with Adventure People.
Yeah, nice, yeah.
And then Star Wars, and then G.I. Joe hit, and I was just like, little 7-year-old hillbilly was just tore plumb up.
Sure.
But,
yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, Star Wars relied on the property, Star Wars, I'm not knocking anybody. And I love all television, but, we can discuss things analytically. Like the sculpts were very rudimentary, very simple. And they had, their reasons for doing it were all right, between not having the good model sheets and everything, actor likenesses. And He-Man had that size, but G.I. Joe had to bring it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think G.I. Joe, like you're getting at, Hillbilly, is that G.I. Joe brought it.
Yeah.
It had the articulation, it had the right guns, it had the right energy,
Yeah.
And it did.
Like,
price point.
Well, I even had a few of the oh shoot. I can't, the name is just escaping me right now, but they had like the superhero figures back in the 70s.
Mego?
Yes, Mego. I had a few of the Megos, and wherever I went, I had a Mego in my hand. And then it was wherever I went, I had a Star Wars figure in my hand. And then wherever I went, it was a G.I. Joe in my hand. And Snake Eyes went with me everywhere. But that just, I like knowing what everybody started out with. And it's for me, it's like sharing a meal with somebody. You get to know the person a little bit better.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's always, you're right. In a way, I don't want to say it defines them, but you're right. It really does kind of open.
Yeah, it doesn't define them.
Perspectives of the individual.
Yeah, it doesn't. I'm not trying to say it defining them. It just, to me, it helps me know them a little bit better. So,
no, absolutely. Who was yours?
Breaker, 82,
right.
and which was well, I got Breaker. I never heard of G.I. Joe before. My brother had one of the adventure people or action people or venture team members, which I don't remember it. And he'd had it, and I guess a mouse ate its beard and its hair off in the house, so Mom just chucked it. But we had some of the accessories laying around, and we was walking in Heck's department store in Spencer, West Virginia one day, and I see this new thing on the peg, G.I. Joe. I was like, what is this? And I picked up Breaker because I knew he didn't have guns, and I knew I wouldn't lose his accessories that way. So I tried him out, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then the next time we went back, I picked up Snake Eyes. And I was like, oh my gosh. And which was weird being able to buy two figures that close together, two toys. But later I got to thinking my grandpa died that Christmas. So things was going on, and my mom and dad was probably trying to keep my mind off things. So I still have my Snake Eyes. He's rough. He's been through some adventures.
Good.
Yeah. He's part 80. The lower half is 82 and the upper half is 83. So
I love it.
I'll get off my soapbox now.
All like you said, it's always fun to hear the.
Yeah, I just like hearing the stories, and I don't know, it's just a thing for me. So,
Yeah, a question I always like to ask is there a TV show, movie, book line, anything that's not had toys made that you would love to see made? Like you'd just be all in on? Mine's weird. I love Supernatural. I would buy any figure, any accessory sad for that show.
I'm surprised Super 7 hasn't done reaction figures, bare minimum.
Right. I've emailed them, told them to do it.
Sure. I'm sure they get, it's probably the 150th one that day, you know?
Yeah. And when they ask, they're like, what would you like to see made? I'm like, Supernatural.
Sure. Did the Pirates of Darkwater line ever come out?
I don't
That
think I've ever.
cartoon?
I think for a little bit, they didn't. That was a great show.
Yeah.
I love that show, but I don't think they really pushed the figures very well. The figures weren't really well done.
I know Ron did some, but I wasn't, because he had turnarounds of them and everything. I don't know how far the line got off.
I've seen a few at the shows, but nothing that was just kind of like, hey, I got to get that. There's all in like the loose boxes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But,
so the toys came out at least.
Yeah, I think the Pirates of Darkwater figures, that would be so cool. New, like updated with really good articulation. But there's so much on them figures. The cartoon is so in depth.
Oh yeah,
loved it.
It's a shame they didn't finish it.
Yes, I would like to see it finished.
Mm-hmm.
The monkey bird was, I think, wasn't a monkey bird?
Yeah, something like that.
He was awesome.
He was a character too.
Yeah, I dig him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's all. I mean, I've always wondered. That's always kind of the answer to that question that's looming in my head. But now, just blowing the dust off the show itself, I'd have probably on my viewing list tonight. Watch some Pirates of Darkwater.
There you go.
Could you imagine a pirate ship for him?
Oh, geez, there you go. Yeah, that thing was killer. I remember that.
Yeah. That'd be a cool place.
None of this. I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but I'm gonna look into it.
I'm just
I'm
just enjoying the conversation.
Right? Yeah.
It was. Yeah, definitely look it up because I certainly won't do it justice. But it was right around that Batman animated series. What was that? Exo Squad, like those adult, for lack of a better term, adult cartoons. They weren't run of the mill. Hey, the bad guy does something nefarious. The good guy wins. Here's your lesson.
Yeah.
Next, it had some real solid depth to it.
Yeah,
and he was trying to save the world, well, the world was like post-apocalyptic, right, of sorts, or is another world, from Dark Water. That was the antagonist, the real antagonist, looming threat.
Yeah, Dark Water, like once Dark Water would hit something, it'd just like destroy it.
That's right. Yeah,
and overtake it.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Well, no, that was like
that was.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to watch that show tonight. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up for sure. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
And like the guy that was like heading up the crew or the captain or whatever, he was a prince, wasn't he?
I think the blonde protagonist, the nice, handsome looking, whatever alien guy. Yeah, he was the main protagonist, versus the giant captain, the big. Yeah, he had the beard with the braids and big hulking, massive blue guy. Yeah,
kind of like me.
Yeah, we'll go with it. Are you guys sailing the seas after this? Absolutely.
Yes. Yes. I want to sail the mountaintops here in West Virginia.
There you go. Now we just need to get your eyebrows up. I think you had some teeth. Yeah, sail the mountaintop.
Hey, real quick, what did the pirate say on his 80th birthday?
What?
I'm 80.
Nice.
I'll be here all week if you're working.
We'll log back in next week and say.
All right. Well, we're coming up on the hour and a half, which is it's probably our longest episode. But I've had a really great time.
Yeah.
We will continue to, talk about the fan club and always support that for sure.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
We appreciate you so much coming on. Like I said, we've been trying to do this for over a year now, and I'm glad we got to do it.
We made it.
Yep.
Yes.
And are you going to be at Winterfest this year, or?
I'm hoping to be at Winterfest, and I'm looking at my schedule last minute where they are.
Okay, yeah, I want to do that so bad, but I don't have the money or time right now. So hopefully next year have that on my radar, because I'm hearing nothing but great things about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, both shows are. I've technically never done Winterfest. No, I did Winterfest. I did the first one. I live, as if you don't know, I live for the audience at home. I live within the vicinity of Winterfest. Des Moines, Iowa is 10 hours for me, but yeah, that's a phenomenal trip if you can make it.
Yeah, we're like an hour and 15 minutes from Winterfest, so
4 hours.
Yeah,
pretty easy to get to.
Mm-hmm.
Winterfest is a journey for me.
Did you say 4 hours? That's nothing.
Oh yeah, 4 hours.
It's going to be 5 hours to pick you up for Joe Fest.
I was gonna say, your Hillbilly, isn't everything 4 hours?
Yeah,
I'm a Midwestern guy. I can say that.
There's nothing close to me here in West Virginia. Nothing is together because of the mountains.
Yeah.
So you got to cross the one mountain to get to the something. But
well, with all that being said, we really appreciate you being on. We'll be back again next week, hopefully. We're trying to do this more often, which we've managed to do. So now there's just three of us, we can always at least have two of us. Might just be Matt and Hillbilly. I don't know, but we'll do something. But thanks again for watching. Please support the fan club.
Yes, and thank you guys, and keep up the good work. You guys put on a heck of a show.
We appreciate it.
Great guys.
We just talk toys.
All needs to be said.
Yep.
Now we're talking.
All right. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.